City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. The airport CEO says he'll continue to work with Air New Zealand in looking at other Australian destinations for winter flights. An exhibition of works by some of New Zealand's best contemporary Māori carvers opens at the museum this weekend. And local whitewater rafters are looking for sponsorship to help them take part in next month's rafting championship. Airport CEO Alistair Rhodes says the cancelling of flights to Sydney next winter will save the RDC money. However, Mr Rhodes says he will continue to work with Air New Zealand in looking at other Australian destinations to fly to during winter.
Yeah, so we've had Rotorua Sydney sort of twice a week since 2009, since December 2009, and performs reasonably okay over that kind of period from sort of September all the way through to the end of April. But over that kind of the winter period, traditionally it's actually the performance has been pretty poor, so a lot of flights traditionally have been kind of cancelled over that period anyway. So instead of just sort of sitting there and waiting for that to happen, we've actually gone out and proactively negotiated a new contract with Air New Zealand. We said there's no point flying over those 3 or 4 months over the middle of winter because there's just not the demand from the people from the Bay of Plenty to go to Sydney or from Australians to come to the Bay of Plenty over that kind of winter period.
Would there ever be the opportunity to get flights from, say, Brisbane and Melbourne as well as Sydney?
Yeah, so for me, there's a couple of things. I think that fundamentally a Brisbane service would be sustainable from this kind of region. If you look over, say, July and August, around 50-60% of the people from this region that go anywhere in Australia are going to the Brisbane Gold Coast. So the demand's clearly there. We did have some discussions with Air New Zealand about the potential of getting that service up and running over winter. Unfortunately, it didn't quite fit into the network at that time, but I still think that in the future, that Brisbane service over winter would perform fantastically from the region. So that's something we're really looking at.
An exhibition of works by some of New Zealand's best contemporary Māori carvers opens at the museum this weekend. Called Matatoki, the concept behind the exhibition was to highlight the talented contemporary carvers who have trained here in Rotorua. Rotorua's museum's art curator Carl Chittum and Eugene Kara, a carver and lecturer at Waiariki Institute of Technology's Whare Takiura, co-curated Matatoki. Mr Chittum says the exhibition is an exciting showcase of the incredible skill and diversity of art being produced by our contemporary carvers. Matatoki opens on Sunday at the Rotorua Museum. A 2-tiered carrot and lemon curd cake filled with rum, raisins and coconut and topped with cream cheese icing won the Hottest Home Baker competition at the weekend. The competition was run in conjunction with the museum's Down the Hall on a Saturday night exhibition. Annette Comp, helped by her husband Peter, made the winning cake. Mrs Comp, a regular cake maker for family weddings, had never won a baking competition before. Taking out the junior section was 7-year-old Alicia Kohi with her erupting volcano with dinosaurs-themed carrot cake. In sport tonight, the New Zealand Under-23 men's and women's rafting team is looking for sponsorship to help them compete in next month's World Rafting Championship. Men's team captain Sam Harrison says it's exciting to be able to compete with the world's best right here in our own backyard.
Well, for starters, we're the first under-23 men's team to represent New Zealand at the Junior World Rafting Championships. So it's great to have to get us all together. We've known each other and worked with each other for a few years now, and we know we've been working as raft guides, and to actually have the opportunity to race and compete in a sport that we do love and work day in, day out is really special, I think.
To your weather update now. Tonight, fine spells with a southwest change and an overnight low of 5. Tomorrow, Wednesday, cloudy periods increasing with a few showers. Westerlies, a high of 15 and a low of 7. And looking out to Thursday, mostly sunny with westerlies, a high of 18 and a low of 6. And the marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, becoming westerly to 15 knots in the morning with waves 0.5 metre or less, with fine spells and a few afternoon showers. Still to come tonight on City News, we hear about the Women's Achievement Awards being held on Friday night, and we cover last week's Habitat for Humanity Lego house building event.
Well, every couple of years here in Rotorua, there's a special celebration to honour the woman in our community, and it's almost upon us again. And with me today is Pam McGrath, the organiser behind this awesome event. Pam, it's been every 2 years that you celebrate the woman in our community, special people that have done some amazing things. So where did this idea come from, and who's organising it?
First of all, it's being organised by the Zonta Club of Rotorua, which is an international organisation, part of an international organisation. And we've been arranging it for the last nearly 20 years. Wow. Originally it was called the... I think it was originally called the Woman of the Year or something like that. But a few years ago we decided that we'd hold it every 2 years and make a really big event out of it and really make it special for these women.
Now, special women, obviously you're going to be honouring them on this night. Yep. Who are they?
We've got 4 women, and they come from the 4 areas of professional areas. We've got Jenny Nahu, who represents as a sporting person. She's been involved in rugby league in Rotorua for a long time. Alison Zanelli is involved with the arts. She's a music teacher and does a lot of work in that area. Barbara Cook, who gave us the amazing wearable arts. Yeah, wearable arts. And then the last one is Kathy Cooney, who has done an amazing amount of work up at the Rotorua Hospital.
So this is open to the public, and anybody can come along, isn't it?
Yes,
so if people wanted to come, where can they get tickets, and how much are they?
The tickets are $72, and the venue is this beautiful place here, the Blue Baths. $72, you get a glass of bubbles to start with. You have a 3-course or buffet meal. We've got Wendell Nissen coming to speak to us, who's a really amazing speaker. And then we get to hear the 4 women that have won the awards. So it's not like a regular award place like the Academy Awards where, the winner is. They all know that they've won it, and they've got their family and friends along. So it's really a really neat night.
Now, you mentioned Wendell. She's the guest speaker.
Wendell, yeah.
Wendell, where's she from?
She's from Auckland, and she used to be. A lot of people know her. She writes for, I think it's the Herald or one of the national newspapers, and she used to be the editor of the Women's Weekly. She's had an amazing career, but now she's focusing on environmental things, and she's got a website that says the Green Goddess, and she's given up her job to devote her life to being a person at home that looks after her husband and does it.
So
she's quite a crazy lady.
So she's an inspirational speaker that you got speaking. Yeah. Now you've also got an MC as well.
Yes, Rachel from Classic Hits is coming along to be our MC, and then all the women of Zonta are involved in selling tickets and also on the night being involved. So it's sort of a voluntary run thing, and but we think it's a real community service because there's so many women out there that just don't put their hand up sometimes.
And they don't get recognised, do they? But here's a good opportunity for them to get recognised. Yeah. So was it you that got to ring these 4 recipients, or was it someone within the committee?
We had a person in the club that went and approached them all and told them the good news. Yeah. So they're selected, like the club, we've got 30 members, and we all had a chance to sort of put names forward and then work through what they'd done.
Well, let's talk about that. How did they get chosen?
Well, people in the club put their names forward, and we had several for each area, and then we just worked out what sort of things they'd been doing over and above their paid-for job, the jobs that they're in. These are things that they do for the community and often don't even get mentioned other times, but they're always there in the background working hard. So. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I don't know if you can answer this question, but obviously when they got the phone call to say, hey, we're going to give you this award, do you know what their reaction was, or did you get any response for them?
Well, they're all of them very humble, modest women, and they're sort of saying, me, what about, why me? And I think Alison Zanelli in particular was so excited. She said, this has never happened to me before. And she was so excited and just, buzzing. So it is pretty neat. And I don't think the wider community know. It's very hard to get the message out there sometimes, but we put posters around, and we're slowly selling tickets, but we'd like to sell a few more. So.
Cool. Well, just in case someone was watching and wanting to come, where can they get the tickets?
Okay.
Just one more time, and what date is it?
It's on the 18th of October, which is Friday week. Have I got that right? Yeah, Friday week. It starts at 6 o'clock. It goes till about 10, so it's a pretty full-on evening. You can get tickets from Event Finder or from the Blue Baths website or from the Blue Baths.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
if you consider yourself to be a bit of a builder, we've got a great story for you today. We're down here at the library, and as you can see, there's a lot of kids behind me building houses out of Lego. And with me today is Caroline Naylison. Thanks for joining us today, Caroline. Now, you're from Habitat for Humanity.
Yep.
What are you doing here in the library with lots of kids and Lego?
We have the Habitat for Humanity Build Challenge running at the moment, and it's a fun challenge for kids to build a house out of Lego for Habitat, and we have that campaign going for 3 weeks. So currently here is the event day here in Rotorua. We have events all around the country this week, but kids can also build from home with their own Lego and enter the competition online, and that they can do that until the 20th of October.
So there's two sort of competitions going on here, isn't there? One here in the library.
Yeah, it's all part of the same competition. So we take a photo of the builds that are made here in the library, and they will be online, as well as the builds that are done at home. A photo of those will be online as well. So it's all part of one big campaign. And
there's no age limit, is there?
No. We have some enrollments of over 20 already. It's aimed at children. What we try to do is really raise some awareness of housing needs in New Zealand and across the world. And we really have been looking for a fun way to introduce the concept of housing to children at a bit of a younger age, because housing is so important for families here in New Zealand. A good, warm, healthy, decent home is very important for everyone, and it's good for children already to get an understanding of that at a younger age. And this is a fun way to really introduce them to that by challenging them to build a good house out of Lego themselves.
So once these kids are finished behind us, they're going to
Yep.
put their house in the little Habitat for Humanity community. You guys take photos of it and post it online, and
Yep.
then how do they win the competition?
Well, it's a popular vote. So the kids then go to all their friends and family and ask them to vote for their house on the website. And the 5 with the most votes win latest Lego range prizes. So
Wow.
it's something
I think I might have to build one.
Yeah.
So how can people vote? Can they obviously got to go onto your website?
Yep, so on the website there is a page with all the photos of all the builds, and you can search by name. So if you know somebody who has built, you can search on that name, and the build of that person pops up. You see the photo, you click on it, and you can vote. It's very easy.
So how do people get onto the website? What's the website domain?
It's www.buildchallenge.org.
Okay, nice and easy.
Yep.
Now, obviously, like you said right at the start, you get to travel around the North Island doing all these different events.
Yep.
What's the feedback been like from the community? Have the kids really got into it?
Yeah, they have. Yep. This is the second year that we're running this campaign. Last year we had over 1,000 entries in total, which was already fantastic. And currently we're only halfway through, and we already have 650 kids registered on our website.
Wow.
So
How about here in Rotorua?
Today we have 3 groups building here in the library, and we have had some home builds, kids building at home with their own Lego coming through as well, so it's looking really good, yeah.
Is there any specifications or any rules around the building of the house? Does it have to be New Zealand style, or can it be anything?
No, we just asked them to build a nice house for Habitat, a warm, comfy, decent home, because that's what we're about as an organisation. So we asked them to think about that. So it's really a challenge for them to build that out of Lego.
Well, let's talk about Habitat for Humanity a little bit. You just recently here in Rotorua did the house at Bunnings.
Yep, in front of Bunnings.
Yeah. Now, did that get donated to a family?
Well, we don't donate the houses. That's, okay. I think, important to know. It's not a giveaway. So families make affordable repayments towards their home. But yes, the family has moved in. We had the dedication in April, and they're very happy in the house.
And what are sort of things that Habitat Humanity does around the world, not just here in New Zealand, but around the world?
Yeah, we build homes. That's what we're known for. We build new homes, but we also repair homes. That's called our A Brush with Kindness program. So people who own a home but can't afford to maintain it, we help them to make it affordable to do that. And actually we have started here in New Zealand with social rental as well. So in Hamilton we have pensioner flats available for elderly as a social rental. Yeah.
And to get funding, is it a government-funded organisation, or does it rely solely on donations?
Yeah, we're a charity, so we have different ways of accessing funds through donations from people or from trust grants, but also through our restores. So we have 4 second-hand stores around the central North Island region. There's one here in Rotorua on Edmund Road, and through those stores we get donations of second-hand goods, and we sell that to put it in our housing program.
How about volunteers? Now, I know with most trusts and charitable organisations, they're always looking for volunteers. So is it the same with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Our vision as Habitat is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. And we build homes, but we also build communities. And those volunteers are essential in doing that. So all our projects are with volunteers. They come on site with us, they help us in the restores, and it's really important for us to see those volunteers with the families that we have and the neighborhood, to really mix and get to know each other and really form a community together and strengthen that. So building the homes is the way what we do, but building the communities is the way we do it.
Yeah, I think that's important, building that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, if someone is watching and wanting to donate their time or some money, how can they get hold of you, or is it the same website as that you mentioned before?
No, we have a Central North Island website, which is www.habitatscni.org.nz, but they can also ring us in the office, and that's in Hamilton, and that's 07 849 0284.
Awesome, Caroline, thanks for your time, and the cameraman Graham and I think we might get involved and build some Lego houses. What do you think?
Go for it.
Right.
Yeah, you should.
Thank you. Well, we're still down here at the library, and we're going to find out a little bit more about what Habitat for Humanity does, and we're going to get to have a chat with some of the kids and find out how creative they are in building these houses out of Lego. All right, Caroline, it looks like on this board here that Habitat for Humanity has been pretty busy, not only around the world, but here in Rotorua, because you can see up there the project that was at Bunnings. So just take us through exactly what's going on in the photos.
So this is an overview of some of the builds we've done in the last 3 years in the Central North Island, and it's just an example of the type of houses that we build. So the bottom two here are both built in Rotorua. This is one in Naitaha that we built in 2011, and this is the one from last year that we had in front of Bunnings. It's tri-panel style builds, and then here are two examples of builds in Hamilton. And this last one is quite amazing because that was the first time in New Zealand ever that there was a house lifted over a prison fence. The volunteers that built the house for this family were actually prisoners who were getting experience in the building industry. So when they got out of prison, they would have some experience to fall back on and get back into employment and get back into life, in society. So we actually craned this house in Hastings out of the prison there in 2 parts. So this was the day that the family saw their house going over the fence. Very special.
Well, what's the reaction like from the families when they get given the house, or they find out they're going to have access to the house? What's their reaction like?
Well, for the family, it's a life-changing thing. All our families cannot get a commercial loan from a bank. So for them, home ownership is something that is far away. Through Habitat, the way we've set up our scheme, they make affordable repayments, so they pay for their house. But it's they can actually in 10 years save enough to go to bank and buy the house, which wouldn't be possible for them when they had to deal with a commercial bank. So for them, it's very exciting, especially for the kids, the families with kids. That it's really, I hear a lot that it's something for the kids to have a home they can always go back to.
Yeah, of course.
And a lot of these families have been moving around a lot from rental property to rental property. And you can imagine what that can do to the education of kids going in one school and going to another school.
They lose their stability, don't they?
Now there's stability, they are in one area. So it's super exciting for them.
Let's have a look on this side, because this is over in Nepal and Cambodia, and it looks like not only is the brick red, but the ground and the dirt is red. So obviously they make the bricks out of the red dirt.
Yeah. So these are photos of our global village trips. So we have teams of Kiwis going overseas to build in different countries. And we build according to the local building style. So we adjust it to where we build. So here in Nepal, we build with bamboo. And here in Cambodia, we make the bricks ourselves. So we bake the bricks. Then this is Mongolia, another style of building. And actually that was after the tsunami in Samoa. So we'd also do emergency response work, and that's an example of that.
Now I want to talk about Harry and Holly, and you've got a poster here with Harry and Holly.
Yeah.
What's their story?
So for the build challenge, because it's mainly aimed at children, we have created 2 characters, Harry and Holly. And in the cartoons that Harry and Holly, we have 4 cartoons on our website on buildchallenge.org, and they tell about what the story of Habitat really, but then from Harry and Holly's perspective. So Harry and Holly are 2 best friends, and they are little builders for Habitat, and they help Habitat raise awareness of housing needs.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Now, the other really good thing that I hope you guys are going to enjoy at home is that we're going to go have a chat to some of these kids and see how their house is getting on. So there's actually quite a few on the community board there, so let's go have a look. All right, Caleb, tell us a little bit about your house.
It's a good place for one person to stay as an overnight holiday place. It's got living room, bedrooms, bathroom and kitchen/dining area.
Waimarie, that's a beautiful name, isn't it? Tell us about your house.
My house is kind of like a desert house. That's why I've put it kind of like a pyramid, because it was supposed to go up higher, so it was like the steps of a pyramid. And I've decorated the top with a little light and my little stars and a little foggy on top. And I put a little boat over here, a motorboat, so if there's a flood they can just jump on it and go.
How about those 3 characters on the top? What's their names?
Oh. Well, that's Daniel, Danny, and Carlos.
Nice. Right, Regan, your house is looking pretty flash. Tell me the story behind it.
It's basically a house for 2, and it's basically a house what has been rebuilt. So you can see that it's not like a flash house, like it's a house being rebuilt.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and like he has like a nice kitchen with 2 stoves and then 2 ovens, and it has a bathroom. Yeah, and it also has 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom and 2 beds.
Righty.
So, yeah.
Hope you win.
Yeah.
Thanks. Righty, TTL, your house looks pretty cool. You got 3 guys living in there. What's the story behind your house?
So there's 3 rooms and 1 bathroom and a table and yeah.
Some great school holiday fun there at the Habitat for Humanity Lego house building event. Don't forget, if your organisation or community group has a news event that we can support, you can give the team a call on 07 3488 984 or email news@tv.rotorua.co.nz. And if you missed anything in tonight's show, you can watch it again on tv.rotorua.co.nz. Thanks for watching tonight. From all the team here at City News, Pumaria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.